Santuff-Skegan here.
Scott Ferguson here. Michael Green here. Tim Kremen here.
Tracy Donovan Lavalette here.
So we have the approval of minutes from June 26, 2023 and July 6, 2023. I've read both of them and I'm good with them. I don't know if everybody else has.
Yep, I'm good.
Yep.
Entertain a motion to accept the minutes as read.
So moved.
Somebody gonna make the, Tim's making, somebody want to second that?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So we have signature action items. First one is amended culvert quote.
Yep. Dan, do you want to speak about that?
Sure. Dan Phillips, President for Reagan. Yeah, the culvert quote that we had, I just had them add 2 pieces of culvert on for Pheasant. Actually, 4 pieces, 2 crossings, 2 30-inch pieces, and then 2 pieces so that we can do the culverts on Pheasant, which was not in the original quote.
So this,
So I had Barron Brothers order the pipe and put it in with the delivery so that we wouldn't have to pay a delivery cost and all that to get the pipe before that.
okay, so this is in addition to what we already received.
Yes, yes,
And we'd be looking to have this come out of the ARPA.
yes.
The additional, how much is it? A couple-
16,540.
Right. So the original price was that top line.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Oh, so the total would be 16,540.
Right.
Yeah.
Would be adjusted to that. Okay.
Yeah.
So it would increase, what is it, this 3612 or this, these two?
Those 2 numbers at the bottom.
Yeah, so the 3612, so it increases like $3,600.
Exactly.
All right.
And this is just for the culverts that are on
Yep.
the ground, the invoice for those.
Yep.
None of the work.
So because it was more than what you originally,
Yep. So you
that's
can
why I
make-
wanted
yep.
you guys to sign.
Right. So I'll just entertain a motion to accept the increase in bid due to the additional culverts to be purchased.
I'll make the motion. Second.
It was
Yep.
Scott.
I got it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Might as well sign that while it's right here. Next one is the paving quote.
Scott has that.
Oh. So we have a quote from R&D Paving, and Dan, maybe you can speak to this as far as what it's gonna cover? You probably know
Yeah,
better.
it's adjusted now, so, we had them price out some stuff, so basically it's gonna cover the reclaim, grade, and base pave down from 153 up to just past Pinkham.
Yep,
So that'll be where they come in and they crunch up all the, they have this like big road
Yeah.
tiller thing,
yep,
and they reclaim that part of the road, and then they'll regrade that, and pave it, and it'll be all flush for the winter. That'll just be the base coat.
yep,
Okay, so we'll let that sit over the winter. And then next year we go in and mill out where the joints are and then, on that. And that will include, shoulder gravel.
okay,
The other section we're doing was just past our salt yard down here on Ridge Road, where the section of pavement starts getting a little worse. And that would go all the way up to,
Newport's.
New Portsmouth
Yep.
with a new pave, so that would essentially be brand new all the way from 153, all the way up just, I would say, east of our salt yard. And what they're gonna do there is they're gonna do what they call a shim, and then overlay.
Yep.
So they'll take and, shim the road, and then they'll overlay that with 1.5 inches, and that will give us a good road for quite a few years.
Okay,
And
so,
then-
oh,
Yep,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then there's some more.
yeah,
So we had them priced from the town line at New Durham on Kings Highway, up the road here, and just beyond Bob Brutal's place, coming south towards
yeah,
town. We wanted them to, we got a price on the shim and then the overlay of that, and plus the shoulder gravel. And it came up to like 350, we didn't have that, but so we're gonna all those roads come with, the shoulder gravel is included in the price.
All right, so that's a total of $270,213.75, which would all be coming out of that
The paving,
capital reserve
yes.
account.
Yep.
Okay. I guess I'll entertain a motion just to be on the,
I'll make a motion to accept the reserve.
yeah, so that's to accept $270,213.75 for paving. Anybody want to
I'll
second?
make, 1 second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, is that where the? Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't even see this. Right, oh.
And just as a note, that work will be done,
Oh, yeah, when is that?
it would be late summer, early fall. So
Okay.
it'll probably be
Oh,
after
no
Labor
signature
Day.
on it.
Post culvert.
Yes.
Okay, so the next item, no, that's already been, it's got 3 signatures. Did you want to look at it? Just trying to keep the paperwork. The next item, intent to cut map 8, lot 8, map 8, lot 11. These are renewals, basically renewed
Yeah.
because the intent to cut only goes for a year and it ended May 31st.
No,
Are you-
March 31st.
March 31st, so in order, so these are,
Yeah, and those are the 2 subdivisions on Pinkham.
yeah, her,
Her toe. Yep.
so they're only good for a year.
They weren't finished by March 31st, so they had to renew it.
Everybody else sign, and then give it to Tracy. The next item is Stratford County TAC appointment.
Okay, so we have TAC, which is the Technical Advisory Committee. 18 communities belong to Stratford Regional Planning. John Hotchkiss was formerly our appointee, but his term expired June 30th of this year. The terms are for 2 years. They meet the first Friday of every month at 9 a.m. and there is a option to do it virtually if you didn't want to go in person. So I did speak to John Mullen, and he's willing to take this on. And then as an alternate, I just spoke with Scott because that is one of his things that he's the liaison to. So he'll be the alternate, the backup for John if John ever couldn't make a meeting. So I just need you to appoint John as the appointee and Scott as the alternate, and 3 signatures, please. And Scott, if you could fill in your information. I got your name, that was it.
So do you want us to make a motion?
Yes, or whatever, yeah. You should, because you're appointing.
Well, right, so I'll make a motion that we appoint John Mullen to be the Stratford Regional County TAC representative for the town of Middleton. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Yep.
And Tim seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Oh, it's okay, they go together. Say that again?
He's already the liaison for the board for the Stratford, so he, even if we didn't, list him, he would be the one to step in for John if John couldn't.
He's the one that gets to do it.
It's a little, yeah.
Okay, so, old business, we'll start with, Carl, CEO.
And you all have these in
Yeah.
your folders.
So despite the weather in June, it has proved to be a busy month, mostly smaller projects, but I have been working with few applicants for new houses that should be ready to permit in the next month or 2. There were 5 new building permits issued, 1 demo permit, 1 plumbing permit, 3 electric permits, and 5 propane permits issued in June. The total amount collected was $1,187.76. It has been a very busy month for health with the cyanobacteria concerns in the lake. As of now, the way that I have been posting is how DS asked me to at the public beach and boat launch. I would like to get a list of the presidents for the 3 associations' emails so they could so when notices come out, they can receive them, they can post the signs at their association beaches if they wish. The lake, excuse me, the lake will be tested again Tuesday, which means it should have results by Tuesday evening.
We have the cyanobacteria later on in the agenda, but the only thing I wanted to say is that I did gather those contacts for him today. I'm just waiting on the last one from John Mullen, an email address for Hampshire Shores. So he'll have those by tomorrow.
Okay. EMS emergency management? Scott, nothing to report?
Nothing on the emergency management side of things.
Okay. EMS and fire?
Chief level up here, do this reporting for the month of June. Middleton Fire and Rescue had 14 calls total, ranging from mutual aid to medical assist. Fire responded to mutual aid calls to surrounding towns. And there were 6 medical emergencies total in town, 3 of which were covered by us, 2 from Milton and 1 from Wakefield. And I would just like to thank every member of the department for making this department what it is. And we're always looking for new members. We meet every Tuesday at 6:30. Shoot me an email or give me a call. Thanks.
Thanks. Highway. Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
no, sorry.
So in front of you is the primary insurance claim.
Yep.
July 5th, I know this is June, but July 5th there was an accident with the ambulance.
Right.
I did take it out of service for 1 day, did back in service. The estimator, the guy that does the cost estimate did come in front of you
Yeah.
with the cost of that.
Well, it's the appraisal of what the
It's the
insurance will
appraisal.
cover, right? So do
So-
we know where we're taking it to be potentially?
So there's 2 avenues I'm pursuing right now. We can actually do it in-house. We have more than qualified mechanics that can do it in-house.
Yeah, we did price just the part.
Do you have this?
Yes,
Okay.
we did price just the part, and so the way the appraiser said that it was $1,532.87. So we have $1,000 deductible. So we will be getting a check for $587. Mike and I have talked about we can have it fixed anywhere, or anyhow we want, and he has qualified people over at the
Okay.
fire department. So-
No, that's fine. I just know that this is what they're gonna give us. The
Yeah.
insurance is gonna
Yep,
give us.
exactly,
And that's,
yes.
okay.
Just wanted to make sure everybody was up to date with it.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. Highway. Dan. Good. He's gonna get-
I'm DHILLIPS, 2 of them. Resident and road agent. Turn that up just a little bit. People at home. Yeah. So this is from June 13th through today. We rake the dirt roads after all the rain, and we're gonna be doing that some more as soon as it stops raining. I think tomorrow we may be able to get out and do some of that, and Wednesday as well. We put up the signs that we had ordered from the last meeting, which included Sunrise, Ridge Road, Adams, Tufts, and Buttermilk. We do have a couple more to put up. But if there's any more that people notice, just give us a call or stop by, and we'll get those ordered if we don't have them. We did needle gun the sander skid and painted it for truck number 22, and that's just taking all the rust off it, putting the primer on it, and painting it, and getting that ready. So that's the second one. We've got one left to bring into the shop. We do that on rainy days and stuff like that. So we patched some potholes on Silver Street, Kings Highway, Pinkham, and Governor's Road. We are going to be out getting some more of those, the edges of the roads and stuff like that that's breaking off, as soon as we get some sun as well. Been taking care of the beach. We check that out on Monday mornings, and then Thursday afternoons. Change the garbage and just make sure the chemical toilet's all set to go and able to be used. We went out and cut some brush, corner of Gary and Birch, a little down on Pinkham so you could see the bump signs a little better. We did put some gravel in that crossing, just to try to get us by until we have the culverts replaced. The culverts were delivered to Pinkham. They're down on site, and then we also had the ones ordered from Pheasant, and those are up on site. So those will be getting put in. Mowed the lawns, did the weed whacking around Town Hall and Old Town Hall here and out back. Picked up a couple of dead critters. We do that as well, so if you see one of those and we don't get to it, just give us a call and we'll take care of that. Leave it on the answering machine, or you can send an email, whatever you want to do. Had one on Kings Highway and then one on Silver Street. And then, yeah, like I said, any questions or concerns, just give us a call, email, whatever, and we'll take care of that. We have been pretty fortunate with the rain as far as washouts and stuff. It's just a testament to, scraping the shoulders and stuff, which you see us trying to get through as well. Letting that water get off the road is real important, as opposed to having it get to the edge of the road and run down the side of the road. That's not what we want. So I do have a couple other things that are coming up further, and we'll go over those as we get to them, drainage things.
Oh, are they on the list here?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has
Oh,
to be on
okay.
the agenda.
Okay,
Okay?
yep.
Any questions?
Dan, I got one thing for you.
Yeah.
Down on the Ridge Road, if you're coming inbound from 153, just after the first house, there's a sign and a post laying face down.
Pick that up today.
Okay, I didn't know if that was a new one that you guys were putting up, or if that was an old one
No,
that fell,
that's
or...
something that
I just
they-
happened to see it sitting there.
Wayfair. That was a delivery.
Gotcha.
I had an eyewitness, so, yeah, we did pick that up and pull the broken piece out of the ground so no one would slice a tire on it, but yeah, we did get
I
that.
just happened to see it, I think, late
Yeah,
yesterday.
it just happened, I think, Friday, I think it was, so, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, Bonnie?
Yes.
I don't know how you want to word this, but if you got this,
Sure. Yep. We can do that. All right. Yep. All right.
Police report?
Nothing.
Okay. Treasurer? We had that from previous week, so we
She doesn't have June done yet.
right. Town clerk, tax collector. Tax collector, first receipt was brought in 1.7 million, and the town clerk has brought in just over 100,000. Looks like taxes are coming in. So the next item we have is the opening of the cell phone bids. So before we start that, I should say we had 4 phones, is that correct?
Yep.
And we've only received 2 bids, so I don't know, I think we need to decide, I guess, how to,
Should we extend it?
say that again?
Should we extend it?
We could extend it for another week if you wanted, if the board wants.
It would be 2
or-
weeks because you don't have a meeting
Oh.
next
We
week.
have 4 phones, and we only have 2 bids. Isn't it?
Yes.
Well, I'd move forward with the 2 bids we have. and
Well,
discuss
the
other-
thing is, I got a lot of feedback that our base bid was high. Okay, I don't think it's fair to these 2 people to charge them $250 and then go back out to bid and sell the other 2 for cheaper. Just be, I almost think that we should relook at the base.
Whoa.
I don't think it's. Go
I
ahead.
misunderstood the bid.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I thought it was 250 base for 4 phones.
No, it was for 1.
I'll withdraw my bid, now you're down to 1.
Okay. So anyway, I think that with the feedback that I've gotten, I think our base bid is too high for what the phones are. Even though you can probably pay $250 on Amazon or whatever to get that phone, I think that people thought that was too high, and I think that it's not fair to the 2, now 1 person, to pay $250 for the 1 phone, and then we're going to put it back out to bid and sell the other 3 for $150 or whatever it
well,
is.
if we so choose to do, right, so I don't think we've gotten that far.
I know, but I
So-
just,
So the first question is, do we extend the bid for what it is currently, which is $250 per phone? And we've only gotten 1 bid.
right.
I would say no.
Okay, so with that said, so we'll continue with the conversation saying, so if we were going to rebid them, what would be the suggested price?
What is
So-
it, an 11?
iPhone 11.
The iPhone 11 go from 150 to 250 depending on
Okay,
where you go. So I mean, we could drop it down to the 150 where you would get somebody else. You know, it's like get from like T-Mobile or Cricket. So
What are these phones to us? If we don't sell them,
right. They're not-
what are they?
Right.
Are we doing anything?
Paperweights.
We're doing nothing with them?
Wait a minute.
Then my recommendation would be to put a low bid, minimum bid, to solicit bids, and then see where it goes.
Why don't we do no bid then?
Hmm?
We could do no bid too.
I don't think, I thought about that. I mean, I don't think we should go no bid, because there's the propensity that people don't watch these meetings or what have you, and next thing you
Right.
know, somebody bids $10, which is good for them if that happens.
So-
But I think we need to get a little,
Okay, so with that, what would
If you
you?
could offer clarity, again,
Well, the clarity is per phone. It is, and maybe we didn't clarify that, but it's per phone, a bid per phone, so.
and these are new in the box.
In
New
new,
in the
the
box.
four are new in the box.
and they come with cases and screen protectors.
Right.
And I
So-
apologize, that's probably the way I wrote it on
Dan?
the,
they come with any
No,
yeah. I will make sure it's
You
clear.
can go to these other companies, and pay what they want to pay, which is not a lot for the same phone, with a complete warranty. I would suggest where there's no warranty involved, you start like a minimum bill of $100.
I think,
Like you said, it's not, they mean nothing to us, they're bricks. Let's get rid of them. So then we can get there.
I would say we start with 150.
I would say.
Scott?
My idea was 100.
Tracy?
I'll go with majority. I mean,
Okay, so we can repost them for 150. So, all right, so can we have the motion to repost?
So,
I
yeah.
guess, all right.
I'll
go
make
ahead,
the motion. I make a motion that we repost them,
With lowering the bid to be
lowering the
100
minimum bid to $150
per phone.
per phone, I'll make
Per
sure it
phone.
says that.
Per phone. And let's do it to the next meeting, so that gives us 2 weeks from tonight, right?
24.
Okay.
24th, so is everybody good with that?
But in that motion, I'm also going to
Okay,
add language in there that if we sell 2 of those phones at the next meeting, that we just basically repost the next 2 for the same price.
yes,
Yep.
So that way there, we're not back here in 2 weeks having a meeting and then we drop it to 100.
Right.
And again,
Right.
it's not fair to the other 2
Right.
that bid 150.
right.
So that's the price. Actually, you know what, I would just say that we keep it as a permanent bid till they're gone of $150.
Yeah, that's fine. So who wants to second
So
that?
every meeting, we'll just
I'll
address
second.
if there's new bids
So-
till they're all gone.
I just want, okay, so so you're not, you're back to like the first come, first serve, not a sealed bid
No,
thing?
no, it's a
No,
sealed
it's a sealed
bid, but
bid.
he's saying
Okay.
at
But
the
every
sealed.
meeting will
Okay,
reopen
Right.
until
All right.
they're all gone.
Right.
okay.
So we'll
They'll
just
go
keep
to the
it,
highest bidder every meeting.
so Scott made the motion, Tim seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So you can give the other person their bid back?
Yeah, I will tomorrow.
Okay.
Top secret.
Open position, police, EMS, seasonal highway. I know the seasonal highway and the EMS are posted now, so we'll see what that
Yep.
comes along. So that's where we're at with those.
And then the police,
That's still an ongoing
we'll have
process.
to, yeah,
That's still,
have to
yeah.
follow up on that. Oh, and then the deputy, we're waiting for the posting from the town.
Oh,
clerk.
right, yes, to get that one posted, sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
see that one over there all the way.
Yep.
Sorry. ARPA recommendation,
That was, you had asked for that to be
Yeah.
on there, because one of the things that we were.
oh, yes, so, I'm sorry, me.
Yeah.
One of the items that I thought might be up for discussion for ARPA funds is flooring in the municipal building, because that's indoor, outdoor carpeting, and it's, I think, been in there since the building was erected. So, just a thought, I mean, we can get some quotes if people are okay with that, or if you want to say no, that's fine too. I'm just something, it was something that came to mind.
I think it's a good idea. I think in the general access areas, we should definitely put down
Yeah.
easy clean, moppable,
even in the offices, a lot of them are stained and the threads are starting
Right.
when
No,
she's
no.
vacuuming.
Yeah, I just think we should, in the main
Yeah.
hallways and what have you, definitely put down some sort of a commercial type flooring
Yeah.
that's moppable, not vacuumable.
I was gonna say, I would be opposed to carpet. Well, this discussion came up a couple of years ago with the selectmen and the budget committee, and having dogs in that building that have had accidents, I would not vote for new carpet in that
It's a new
building.
flooring, all I'm saying is new flooring I'm not saying.
But that would be my, I don't think there should be carpet in there unless we're not gonna allow animals in there and.
Well, you'd have to allow service, but just
I
saying.
understand
okay, no,
that.
all right, just saying. So we can get bids for both
Yep.
and see where we go from there, so we'll just move forward with that for now, and we'll get 3 bids, Carol?
Yep.
So,
The other thing that I wanted to ask about, that we had talked, Dan and I had talked about, like what our possible options were, is the ramp outside,
Oh,
when it's,
yeah.
the entrance ramp is very slippery, especially in the winter, but even when it's wet.
yeah,
Didn't
Um,
we used to have stickers on those at one point? I was gonna say, I remember it. It's been a while. but-
unless
Well,
they,
that ramp is fairly new, because I
maybe
saw
we'll
where
see.
the joint loss,
Oh,
yeah. So I just was wondering if I could look for pricing on some solution to that, because
yeah, I would think you could probably buy something that's like
I
industrial.
try to keep my eyes out for people
Yeah.
coming up with a cane, but I don't
It
know.
is, and I do agree, it is slippery, I have shoveled it once or twice. and-
Yeah. The election day.
But I did
when
not
was
go on
shoveling.
my butt
Oh.
dogs.
I'm the stairs, and this would be Dan's decision, really, is to lessen the grade, that's way, you don't wanna go further out, because that messes up.
Yeah.
In other words, if you, lessen the grade for less of a ramp to get up, we have a handicap ramp over here, so if you had to turn it around, and have the ramp come up this way and make a turn it, you might be able to do a longer ramp or steps that are navigable. This is the toughest, particularly in winter, but I don't think you should go out.
I'm talking about the municipal office building,
What's that?
the municipal office building.
Oh.
That ramp in weather is,
No.
is extremely slippery.
Retract, well, I still think.
Right, so I mean, I guess maybe, because is it made of the same, is it the same material
Yeah,
over here?
correct.
So, right, so we could potentially, whatever works over here, we could potentially do it to that ramp
Okay.
as well,
Oh,
right? I mean,
Yeah, they sell the stick-on traction.
Right.
yes.
so we can,
so maybe we can look at that.
so
I
we'll,
thought we were
so
gonna
we'll
get a
move
hold of
forward with getting some bids, not that we're committing to that, for the flooring, but, we'll do that, and Carol will look into seeing what we can find.
Dan and I will work
Okay,
together.
for some adhesive type traction for the 2
That's not
ramps
a
for
big deal.
this building and the municipal building.
Where are we at with ARPA right now? As far as funding, because we're moving forward with the EAC project, right? And then
Oh, I
we're
know.
moving forward with the culvert project.
Can I speak to you afterwards?
So
Um,
we're what, probably 70,000 of that spent?
I think so.
This
Yes.
Yeah,
So we have about, call it ballpark 30,000 more.
yeah, I'm thinking so.
That sounds about right.
And maybe we could get that for the next, our next meeting.
Yep,
then,
I'll get
so
the
it's,
exact figure.
It does, I think at the end of next year, yeah, yeah. Next item is the cyanobacteria update.
Couple of things that I, first, wanted to thank John Mullen, because he bought signs out of his pocket for the associations to post. That was, thoughtful of him, because DES should be providing them. They ran out, so we couldn't get more for the private beaches.
So, so do we have a lot, so there are a lot
The
of,
state has, signs that are probably like this, is red. And, the state provided us with 4, that's the last they had.
oh,
And what I was told, late last week was, or earlier last week, was that, they didn't expect them to get back anytime soon. So what some of the associations have been doing was just printing off the paper sign and
Yeah, I mean, I think that was,
Yeah,
as far
and-
as that was on the list, so go ahead, Carol.
Yes, so just so you know, Carl had a conversation with DES, and they have instructed him that he has to post, and this is different than John's interpretation of the RSA, but the DES told him that he has to post the public beach and the boat ramp.
Yeah.
So they gave us 4 signs, 2 are already being used over there, so that left us 2, so we were short. And then John also had gotten from DES this little sign out info thing that he made some signs of that
That's
as
for
well.
association.
Yeah, to give it to the associations. So, anyway, now you can,
So go ahead. Yep.
Carl is totally correct in terms of posting sign-on advisors. I had a conversation today with New Hampshire Lake in Concord, and I asked the question, because they're very attentive, along with the state, and I'll read an email that I got from the state just now.
Okay.
About posting, and about what the role is of the health officer in posting this. Carl is absolutely correct. But there seems to be in the state with health officers real confusion and lack of direction from the state as to what their role is in posting this. There's no law that says you have to post it here and you can't post it there. So when the state says the email that Carl got, which I was copied on along with Carol and everything, said post at public, what did it say? Public access, I
access
believe.
points.
Access,
You say public access points?
yeah.
Points of public access. Yeah.
So I put a question this afternoon to Kate Hastings, DES. Kate Hastings is what I call a cyanobacteria guru. Her official title is cyanobacteria program coordinator for the watershed national grid. The 800 number you see on this sign, that's her. That's the cell number for her. Okay, so she got that. My question was basically, what's the rule about health officers posting signs where they're supposed to post it? And when you said in your email back that it was public access points, does that mean access to the lake itself? And she's got back to me and said typically, which means there's no rule, law. Typically, we only ask for public access points like town beaches and boat launches be posted. And I have a question about that. Some lake associations choose to post at public access points. You're welcome to post our sign in more places, but we do tend to see communities push back in some cases.
Oh.
Now, I can assume, but I'm not going to assume why that is the case. My feeling on posting the signs, and I think we can work through this, and I'd like to, we're going to give Carl a call and see if we can sit down, and I think we have on the agenda posting procedure.
Yep.
I have drafted a procedure.
Okay.
And before I present that or offer that, I want him to sit down and go over and see if this is kosher with him,
Okay.
that we're doing. So my thought is, in terms of cyano advisories, E. coli advisories, all that kind of stuff, I was told today that when you see an E. coli beach closed, that's only on the state website. That's only state beaches. The ones who have authority to close town beaches, the town. The ones that have authority to close private beaches, like Lakeland Association, Sunrise, is the association, the property. They have, the state does not close them, the town doesn't close them. So there is some discussion on trying to get that clarified. And
Okay.
the law is, it's written
7 or 8 road sites into the lake area. And I feel it's important, in my view, is to let the public know that there is a cyanobacteria in the lake. And that not everybody looks at the web, visitors and so forth and so on. So it's for them to be aware of that. That's my thought. But I think we can work that out
Okay.
with the proposal that I brought forth here. And I think I think Carl has more than enough sign to do what he needs to do because he's going to get 2 places to post it.
Right. So can I ask this, John? So what is it that you're going to propose the procedure to be?
What's that?
What are you going to propose the procedure to
Well, I'm
be?
going to say that under the Conservation Commission, the VLAP coordinator, whoever that to me right now, that we coordinate with, and the health officer wants to determine where the signs can go. Okay, he's in charge of the advisory. He's already asked to communicate with the associations so they can disseminate it against their members. Also, get him to post advisories on the website. They've already been there. And work when the test results come back. He's the focal point of all that matters. So now, that takes a lot of time because I do it now. And in the proposal, I'm asking that if the health officer needs assistance, there are groups already, or members, residents that have volunteered to act like a tree. In other words, if an advisory comes up and he wants to get signs out and he can't do it, just call him and volunteer to go out and do it. There are residents that want to form a group that would offer help to associations to give them signs, to post and so forth, post and all that kind of stuff. So I want to talk to Carl first
Okay.
and get his input on, and I don't want to make it complicated or
No.
heavy loaded for him,
Right.
but I feel that the advisories are important for the safety of the residents who
Yeah.
like everything. So that's my
Okay.
update.
No, I was just curious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and testing is tomorrow.
So we'll know by the
We'll
end of the
know, if they're here in the morning, we'll know by noon.
Okay, good.
And the only thing to add to that is your,
Oh, yeah.
on Saturday, July 29th at 10 a.m. here, they're going to have a public awareness meeting, what's going on at Sunrise Lake. John will speak as the VLAP coordinator, Randy Barnes will speak as the invasive species coordinator, and then Nisa Marks from and DES will come and talk about cyanobacteria. There'll be refreshments offered, there'll be an opportunity for questions and answers. So this is
Girls, tomorrow?
This is July 29th. It's a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. It did. I changed it today. John originally reserved the town hall, said a flyer will come out next week. I need the town hall from 8 to 2, let's say. So I put it on the calendar before I let someone else take it. And he said, no, I have to set up. It's actually starting at 10. And I said, oh, okay.
And it's gonna be recorded as well,
Thank you, Tim.
so
Thank you, sir.
we should talk about that.
Yeah, that's great.
Could we get that on the message board and put out
Yeah,
one
I
as well?
was gonna ask about that.
Is that possible?
Like the week
You want the
before, I
flyer?
guess would be a good time.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Just because, I mean,
No, I
the
was-
Lakes District is a lot of people, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
may not follow Facebook or
Yeah.
town stuff, but they'll
Yeah, so
when
that
they
will
see it
be,
driving
right.
by.
So we will get that on the website if it's not already there.
It is.
And,
It's already done.
okay, and on the Facebook page.
Yeah, there is a section on the, there is a
Yes.
section on the webpage now called Sunrise Lake Watershed.
Mhm.
And a lot of water quality and stuff and health is gonna go in there. Articles, websites you can hook up to, educational things, videos, all that kind of stuff is gonna go in there about the watershed. And what is the watershed? The watershed is land
to keep our asset up. Thank you.
Yep. Next item on the agenda is the leave request form.
Okay, so prior to me, there was a common practice in place that they used a leave request form when somebody wanted to take some of their PTO. Currently, the highway department's the only department that's utilizing this. I myself didn't really use it. But we've had a couple of instances where somebody's out on PTO and nobody knows when or why they're not here. So I've drafted a memo for you folks to sign that just literally quotes the personnel policy, and then this is addressed to department heads and saying, you know, that they're responsible to utilize these forms and approve their employees' time off, and that them as department heads would submit a form as well for the board to sign, since the board is the supervisor for the department heads, and just thanking them for helping us get in compliance with our own policies.
Yeah, we can.
I think I showed it to Tracy and Roxanne and Tim when they were in the office this afternoon.
So this is just, basically what's in the personnel policy now, restating it, refreshing everybody's minds on what the
Because if
policy is.
somebody's out and one of you are looking for them and say, hey, where's Dan? I'll say, oh, he's not over at the highway garage. You know, did Dan put in for some time off? I have no idea, you know, as the HR person. I can't speak to that. So. It's important. It's important for attendance tracking as well, because it talks about the notice of, you know, if you're 4 or more days, you give 2 weeks notice. If it's less than that, you give 3 days notice or whatever. And that way we could track excused and unexcused absences moving forward, because right now it's not really possible to do so.
Scott's reading it, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The policy's wordy.
No, just one thing I'd like to see here is maybe some language in the second paragraph that outlines when it has to be turned into you, because I could turn this into you after Dan's vacation.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's true.
That would totally negate the whole reason of letting you
Yeah.
know, so that you would know we were
Do
missing someone.
you see the policy? So you're saying the way that the policy
It's
is
saying that
written?
like Dan has to approve it X amount of days beforehand, but then we have this paragraph here that says that Dan will then provide it to
Yep.
you, but it doesn't say when Dan has to provide it to you. It doesn't say a week ahead of time, 2 days ahead of time.
No,
This says when the employee has to notify
No, but I think the
Dan.
employee.
I'm just picking on you,
I think
Dan,
the
'cause you
employee
said
requests.
right, but what I'm saying is
Sorry.
if Jim Keegan wants to take vacation, he fills this out, he gives it to Dan,
Right.
Dan signs off on it and approves it. Jim goes on vacation this week. 2 weeks from now, Dan comes into Carol's office, says, oh, hey, here's that leave request that I signed off for Jim.
Except in the case of a department head.
Because there's
The
nothing there
department head
that
has
says,
to have it approved
there's
by the
nothing
board.
there that says, Dan, you have to submit these every Friday, or every Monday, or whatever.
All right, so you can add that, we can
Yep.
add that language in here,
Yep.
and you
Which
can make the
then,
update with
again,
the.
it negates the whole purpose of having.
No, because I'm gonna have to
employees
change it.
following Because you're still not gonna know if there's
Can you
people on
make the
vacation or
motion to
not.
sign it as amended so that we can
Yes,
just come in and
that's what
sign
I'm
it?
saying, so go ahead, Scott, make your,
I just make a motion, or I'll make a motion to, have you read it? I've read it. Okay. I'll
Tim?
make,
I have.
okay,
Okay.
all right.
I'll make a motion to approve it with an amendment to the bookkeeper paragraph outlining when those will be submitted to her as well, to ensure that the town's governing body is aware when people are on vacation.
I'm looking for a second. So Mike is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
So that way, Carol, you can do it, and then we.
You can just
come
stop
in
in.
and sign it when you've got it done.
Perfect.
The next item on the agenda, I asked, it's the Milton Farm Museum request. I got a call this past weekend, and I believe she may have reached out to you.
She did.
Yeah. So the board over there would like to know if we could lend them a truck, as we did last year, because they have it's similar to, I think, a Touch a Truck, but they do it's something slightly different for the Farm Museum. That is going to be July 22nd, And they're just looking to have one of our highway vehicles down there from 9 to 4. And so I'm just putting it up here, and we did this
Jim
last.
and I brought a truck and a loader down last year, that was on our own.
And that's all covered, anything happens is all covered by the farm museum.
Do we have a copy up there? Kind of like a facilities use form,
I can probably ask Janet for it, or whatever, but, so,
A copy of their insurance, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
They locked them last year, so it wasn't like there was people climbing in and all over them and stuff. They were
Just to look
there
at.
to look at, touch.
the outside.
So,
so if you don't mind, Dan, I mean, if
I-
you're okay with it, I mean, then I'll put it to the board. So if the board okay, somebody want to make a motion that we,
I'll make a motion to approve the, basically any town organization wishing to participate
in the farm museum
in the farm
request.
museum display or event.
Right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. Thanks, Dan.
and Jim and I will,
Yeah,
I'll volunteer.
yeah, you will. I'll volunteer.
So I'll volunteer.
Who seconded that?
Mike did.
Mike, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the next on fire extinguisher inspection.
I
So-
took care of that, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's happening this
It's happening,
Thursday?
Thursday.
Thursday, and I've made the arrangements with the fire department, they're gonna put everything out,
Okay.
so that nothing's missed, because last year the ambulance one was missed.
Oh, okay.
So,
Perfect.
they're gonna put everything in the center, and it'll
Okay,
be all
good.
good.
And that'll take care of all the buildings that we have, correct?
Yes.
Okay, the next item we have is NHMA Finance Officer Training Series.
So I found out about this today, and basically it's free to New Hampshire municipal members, and it's a financial management series, and it's, I think it's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh.
No, because the morning and afternoon is kind of broke up, because you can pick and choose, or you can go to both. So it's 5 Wednesdays, it's in Concord, it's a free training, it's a certificate program, and I would like to attend. So I just want to know if you guys were okay with that.
Absolutely.
So make, huh? Yeah, so you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
To approve Carol going to the NHMA Financial
Are we
Certificate
members?
Program.
Yes.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, all right, now, Dan, you're back up. Drainage issue, 105 Lakeshore Drive.
So, I received an email from Carrie Brooks, Hobbs. She lives at 105 Lakeshore. And what we have there is we have a cross culvert that crosses Lakeshore that goes down through 2 properties. And basically the pipe that it goes through is on one property. So our cross culvert, which we are responsible for, ends at the right-of-way, where the property pins are, where the property owner starts. At some point, there was a pipe put in, concrete pipe, to extend down through the yard. I tried to look and see if there was, I checked with Robin today to see if there was a drainage easement, and there is not a drainage easement on the deed. So what we have right now is the pipe going under the road is good, the pipe that goes through the yard is good, but it does have some roots in it. And so that is restricting the flow. So when you get a heavy rain, such as, not this past Sunday, the Sunday before, it fills up rather quickly, and then you get a little puddle in the road, which also affects their basement. They do have a basement over there. And so my thing is the only thing that I can take care of is what's on the town property. So I guess what I was trying to do is, I'm trying to alleviate the problem. So if it was a drainage easement and that was our drain pipe, I would call Roto-Rooter, I'd have them cut out the roots, be solved. I am gonna try to talk to the homeowner and see, you know, obviously they didn't want an open ditch there at some point, so they just put a pipe in, so technically they are responsible for that
Yep.
upkeep of that pipe. I'm just bringing this up in the public just because we do have other spots in town that people do not realize. The drainage culverts that cross the road are the town's culverts we are responsible for, and we keep those clean. They do drain in certain areas. Now, without being a lawyer and all that, culverts that have been in place over time are assumed drainage areas. And if you look at the tax map, there aren't really any defined drainage easements. They go through parcels of property, and every time someone builds, you know, the water's trying to make its way down to the lake. So this is the trouble that I run into, is I want to be able to maintain this and let this water naturally flow to wherever it's going. So that's why I'm bringing this up at the meeting today. And I don't know what our recourse would be if the homeowner did not want to have that pipe cleaned out. I haven't talked to them yet. I'm going to approach them, knowing now that we do not have a drainage easement.
Okay.
So I
that's
just wanted to,
all right, so that's just where we're at now. So
that's where we're at right now. And like I said, there's other spots in town, so we just have to keep this in mind, you know.
So, right, so after you've talked to him, you'll talk to Scott, because he's your liaison, and then we can
Yes.
kind of go from there.
Yeah,
Right.
and the blockage, I measured it, basically a concrete pipe's like 8-foot sections.
Okay.
So you have a bell and a spigot, and there's basically a little, you know, they just join together. It's older pipe, so there's no rubber gasket on it like they have on the new stuff now. So the pipe are just kind of joined together. Well, when it's dry season, the roots try to grow down through the cracks. Once they get in the pipe where the moisture is, you know, they blossom, and then obviously you get a clogged pipe. One way to take care of that is, you know, like a roto-rooter,
Yeah.
go in, cut the roots out, and I believe that would take care of the problem. It's approximately 55 feet up from the exit of the pipe, the outlet of the pipe right now. Yeah, I measured it, so.
Okay. Yes, John?
What's your thoughts on drainage easements? Is that good or bad?
Well, it's good.
From a stormwater management.
Right, from my standpoint, it's a good thing, because it allows us, the easement allows us to be on that piece of property. Right now, I have 2 private pieces of property. The town only owns to the property pin. It's not a set distance off the center line like everybody thinks. It's wherever your property pin is, you own from that pin in. And then the town is supposed to maintain, you know, the part out from that.
Yeah. All right, so yeah. So after you have the conversation with the homeowner, whatever, let Scott know, and then we can kind of regroup
Sure.
on that and see how we to move
I
forward.
just
If
told
we
her
need
I
to
would-
move forward or whatnot.
Yeah, I just told her I would look into this.
Yeah.
And give her, try to get an answer, and, you know, we
Okay.
are trying to take care of
Right.
it. We're not trying to ignore it.
Right, but again, if it's the culvert that's, you know, not our responsibility, it's the homeowners, then that needs to go back to that
Right,
person.
okay,
Okay.
yep, thank you.
The next item, solar farm, payment in lieu of taxes at the next meeting. So I think this is, Carol has provided the Board of Selectmen with some information regarding, I think, solar.
Yeah, so I spent quite a bit of time researching this because this is something that's new to us. There's a potential solar farm going in. They will not disclose the location until the board meeting, so I don't know where. But this is a company, Kearsarge, I can't remember, Energy, that is looking to do this solar farm project. And one of the things, several municipalities in the state of New Hampshire, typically bigger, Milford, Bedford, Manchester, Portsmouth, whatever, they give them, they're exempt from taxes, and in turn, they get, what they call a pilot payment, which is a payment in lieu of taxes. And it's a percentage of what they're making off the solar farm. In some cases, the town makes out quite nicely. In other cases, not. So I've reached out to DRA, I've talked to somebody from the Department of Energy. I've provided you guys with information on how these pilots work. I strongly encourage you to read it ahead of time before the meeting in 2 weeks. It's lengthy, it's boring, it's dry, but you really need to know what they're asking you for when they come. And that's why I sent those packets to you. I sent it electronically because it's lengthy, but if you want it printed out, let me know, and I'll print it out. I know Roxanne has it.
I printed out today, because this is in lieu of, they're coming to the July 24th BOS meeting to present their case.
And they have not been to the planning board yet. This is really like one of the first steps in their, whether they're going to move forward or not. John will be attending as a representative of the planning board in case you have any zoning questions. He was kind enough to agree. So they will be there at the meeting on the 24th or whatever it is.
So that's just some heads up and whatnot. I don't have anything, there isn't anything more on the agenda. Did I miss anything? Anybody got anything that we missed? I'll open up to public comment. Start with Bonnie.
I don't know if our plan can be used or not, but the sign out here is great for this side of town. But over on my side of town, over on Silver Street, there's nothing, and nobody over there gets any information if you don't come over here and see the sign, or they don't go online or whatever. There's a lot of people that miss out on stuff.
So what's your question? I'm sorry, I didn't catch the.
Something we could look into for ARPA money. I don't recall what some of the purchases cost, but
It's quite a bit, and it was on grants.
I know there was 3 things bought at once as well.
I can get that figure.
Yeah.
Was that about with Gopher?
Yeah, it's about what go.
Yeah, I
You
can
say
get
40?
the figure.
That's what I
How
think it was, for around 40.
Well, no, that's
No,
what,
no.
that's what we paid for all four.
That was for
pieces of
everything.
equipment.
That was for the speed trailer,
The light tower.
the light tower, yeah. So, but I have all those quotes, so I can look that up and I'll put it on the
I
next.
mean, I don't know if it's
No.
something we could use ARPA for or not, but it would be nice to have something on that side of town.
Where would we put it?
That would be my thing, because it's a residential area.
Someplace on Silver Street would be my suggestion, but where exactly, I'm not sure.
Does the town, yeah, we'd have to.
You're gonna
find
be
the
in
town
someone's property, because you can't put it in the road.
So, yeah, so my two concerns would be, where would we put it and who would maintain the sign? So, but we can certainly see what the price is.
Yeah.
And we can circle back with that.
And I'll look at the town-owned property on that side of town. I have a list. Maybe you could stop in and we could go through it and look at potential spots, because you're more familiar. I'm not familiar with that side.
Uh,
Just a thought,
Yep.
something over there would be nice to,
Yeah.
word out for people over there.
Okay, did you have anything, Dan?
Okay, cameras.
Oh,
Where are we at?
Called the county attorneys multiple times this week, have yet to receive a return call. So, next step is probably next week, I'll go pay them an in-person visit, ring the doorbell and ask.
Okay, all right, and, anything on the ATV trail?
I'm still researching that, but it looks like that it'll be the Board of Selectmen's decision whether we want to open that up, so we can discuss that. I'll finish going through all of what I have. We can discuss that at the July 24th meeting. And Bonnie?
One more thing,
Oh,
the rec.
Oh, yeah.
August 24th, World Home Week, we will be having our celebration to celebrate Middleton being 245 years old. This will also be the 157th Old Home Celebration, which I've been told we are the oldest Old Home celebration in America. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what I've been told. But anyway, we're gonna celebrate it with a catcher truck. We'll have a band, we'll have food trucks, we'll have some games. That will be on August 24th at 5:30. And then the next night, we will be having movie night. We'll be playing movie, what was it, Upward?
Onward.
Onward. Movie Onward. And that will be at 7 o'clock. That's the 25th,
Yeah, Friday.
August 25th.
Where's that here?
Yeah. Anything else? Questions, comments? Nice to see Roy and his wife in the audience tonight. Okay, with that, I will accept the motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
7:34.
Motion to adjourn at 7:34.
Somebody want to second that? All in favor? Aye. Thanks, everybody.